Just because an ingredient is trending doesn't actually mean it is right for your skin. Now, I'll take my time to list maybe 10 ingredients, and it might be actually good on some skin, but not for all skin. All right. And you shouldn't be disappointed if it's not suitable for your skin. Vitamin C. I so much hate this product because it doesn't work for my skin. That's why I'm so angry. Now, people with sensitive skin will definitely experience burning, redness, or you have stinging on your skin. And certain forms of vitamin C are unstable and can also lose effectiveness if not formulated or properly stored. So it's also a no-no for damaged skin. So I beg, I'm not a fan of that product. Second on the list is retinol. Now, for retinol, I use retinol actually. For people with sensitive skin, I will advise you to start small. But the problem about we Nigerians is we want to go all in when we're using retinol. So no, that way it's going to cause dryness, peeling, redness, and irritation. Right? So for a beginner, it's often better for you to start with low strength rather than going higher. And it is not recommended for people that are pregnant. All right, if you're trying to become pregnant, I would say you should stay away from retinol, except you're probably advised by your healthcare professional. They're not well and good. And people who are meant to be cautious with retinol are people who have dry skin, sensitive skin like mine. Better you start small and go gradually. And people who tend to have eczema, it's not for you. Pregnant women as well. Stay clear of it. Now, the third one is niacinamide. High concentration of niacinamide, that's 10% to 20%, tends to cause irritation on the skin. So I would say you should keep your niacinamide lower, so that way you'll be able to enjoy niacinamide. And people who are meant to be cautious with niacinamide are people who tend to react easily with skincare products. Those are people who really have sensitive skin, because you might begin to notice redness after application and you won't really enjoy the feel of niacinamide. So just be cautious. Now, the fourth is glycolic acid. I am not a fan of this product, but some people can swear by it that it actually does work. It penetrates deeply and may irritate sensitive skin. That's why I don't like it. It tends to irritate my skin. And if you tend to overuse it, it weakens your skin barrier and increases sun sensitivity. So I don't even like going close to it. So people I'll tell to be cautious of glycolic acid. People suffering from rosacea acne, people who have sensitive skin, and someone who has very dry skin, just don't even bother. Now, salicylic acid, that's the fifth on the list. It works, but it overdo sometimes for people with dry skin. You might not really like salicylic acid, and it tends to clog pores. Okay, so if you're trying to solve problem for dark spots, salicylic acid might not be able to do it alone. And it's not really suitable for someone that has dry skin, eczema, or you have compromised skin barrier. So you won't really like it. Now, Kojic acid. I'm a fan of Kojic acid. Most of my products contains Kojic acid. And sometimes it might actually irritate your skin or might cause dermatitis. But if you're cautious with its usage, you can be able to tolerate Kojic acid. All right. But as you use it over time, try as much as possible to shield your skin from the sun. Kojic acid and the sun are not friends. So try as much as possible to stay away from the sun. Now, hydroquinone. It can actually cause irritation and dryness and should not be used for a long period of time. I think I've talked about this before. And most times people tend to use it wrongly. So incorrect use might actually lead to rebound effect. But when you use hydroquinone, it would treat your knuckles. Let's use an example for the knuckles. It's capable of treating your knuckles, but at the same time, it's capable of revisiting that knuckle. You having a reoccurrence of that knuckle. Aha, that's the word. Because once it's exposed to the sun and not used correctly, there's always a rebound effect to hydroquinone. So one, it is not used consistently on a regular. Once you use it, it's for treatment. Once you've used it and you've seen the effect, stop its usage. Look for something else that will help to treat the after effects. Hydroquinone cannot treat after effects. So that's what I'm trying to say. Have benzoyl peroxide. Can be very drying, may bleach your towels and clothing if you actually leave it on your skin for a while. And some people tend to develop irritation or allergic reactions once they use it. People that are not meant to use benzoyl peroxide, people with dry skin, my skin, I don't use it. I don't like it. Now we have azelaic acid. Now I'm beginning to fall in love with azelaic acid because it's going well with my skin. But it's best to always start small if you just started for the first time, because you might notice temporary tingling, itching, mild irritation, especially when you're just a newbie to azelaic acid. All right, but gradual effect is just like you using retinol. You have to start small, then take it up gradually. So most times in the market, you always see 20% azelaic acid, 10% azelaic acid. No, it's way better for you to start lesser than 10%. Right? So when you go gradually, keep it at 10% max. When you go above 10%, you will definitely notice redness, irritation. So no. Now, fragrance and essential oil. I am not a fan. Most of my skincare products, I had to strip it off fragrance and essential oils. Some essential oils actually, not all. Because I noticed each time I use fragrances in most of my skincare product, there was always irritation. And I have a sensitive skin. And I noticed most of my customers will also have a sensitive skin. So I don't want them complaining. And people also have eczema, rosacea. And there are some people that also have fragrance allergies. So it's way better to just be in the safe, right? And in my next video, I'll take my time to explain alternatives to these products. Bye, guys.